Hey, back leaders is here, friends, right? Protecting families, protecting back. Looks like Hurricane Laura is actually a Category 4 now. It's going at a mile and 115 miles per hour, so that's pretty crazy. Let me just show you some videos here. Gosh. Alright, here it is. This is Hurricane Laura's latest track. It's getting pretty close here. And where do I live? I live just below where Dallas is right here. So just in Granbury. It's kind of like a little town here. So they said that they're as the river is draining out to sea, it's going to push up a nice little surge of maybe up to 9 to 12 feet of water, mainly along here, and it kind of gets less as you get further out, right? But of course, a lot of the rain that's coming out of here that's trying to flow out, it's gonna have nowhere to go, and it's just kind of like it's kind of probably have to ooze out all over the place. But it seems like this is just such a huge storm. And I was just talking to my wife, like, hey, you know what? I think this, the hurricanes are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, I think there's another YouTube video out there that kind of shows the history of the storms from like the small, as they're kind of progressing, and then it's probably from like the carbon emissions and whatnot, and they're just getting bigger, ferocious, and stronger and more frequent, and it's been pretty crazy 2020. So we'll kind of go from there. I think I also want to talk about another news here. About the latest shooting. I think it was what was his name? Let me pull him up real quick. And I also want to show another video. I showed this up before on the reaction time on how you're able to know whether you see a pistol in the hand and whether you're supposed to shoot or not. But you have to identify the gun first before you pull the trigger. Even you're up in the ready to go, right? And it's just that we can't react fast enough. So here's another another thing I want to show you here. Let me pull up the video right now on my YouTube account. Let me pause it. Alright, so let's review this again. How fast can you identify the object? This is going to be a short video here. Put your fingers up and pull the trigger with your finger when you're ready. Oh, it's just a wallet. Did you bang? Okay, make sure it's not a gun, alright? Just a cell phone. Oh, just cell phone. Oh! Alright, cool. Alright. So it's basically impossible to react in time. You can't see it come up and identify, oh shoot, and then pull. Even you have at the ready, as soon as he reaches into that car, you have to assume that to get the jump on it, you gotta pretty much pop him, right? You tell him don't reach into the car or you're gonna get popped. And let me show you another video of that actually happened, right? And he was able to reach into the car, so he was able to fire. So here's right here. I'm gonna back it up just a little bit. Right there, he's like, you don't reach in the car. You already reached in the car. So let me just back up just a little bit. We'll play this.
Somehow he finds his feet.
Don't reach in the car. You should have popped him right there. Too late. Now there's a gunfight.
Before driving off.
Alright, so this officer had a clear shot waiting for that gun to pop out, and he shot him right there, right? Now this scenario, because they did what they did, this officer survived, right? And maybe lived to the next day. Of course, was there a gun? Well, I don't know. Doesn't matter. I don't care. He's just making their officer's job a lot harder because he's non-compliant. And when they're non-compliant, their intent is to harm you. So this is what happened with Jacob Blake. Don't reach into the car. Don't reach into the car. He reached in the car too bad. You gotta go.
The family's attorney says Blake's 3, 5, and 8-year-old children were inside the car at the time.
And of course, even with kids in the car, you can still pull a gun on the officer, and the officer can't tell. Alright, so I think that's something you gotta consider. So I think what's gonna happen, I think, is because, yes, I see the other side. Oh, you shot an unarmed man, and he had kids in the car, and now you took this guy from his family, and then they're gonna get sued, and of course, police has to have insurance to pay for that, and it's just kind of a part of the business. Okay. And so I think where this is evolving to is that if the guy reaches to the car and it evolves to where the police can't protect himself, it's more like, hey, I'll just let you go. I'm not gonna risk my life on this police work, low-paying police work probably, to apprehend this guy. Just go. I'm not gonna waste my time on it, right? And or risk my life because I want to go home to my kids, be able to watch him ride his bike. All right, so yeah, what is gonna probably happen is where police are pretty much just gonna let him go because it's just not worth the trouble and the headache and the protest that goes against it. And I think what could be better is to maybe educate and be part of the training when you get your driver license to say, hey, this is the rules of engagement. You need to comply with the officers. You don't comply, you risk getting killed because, you know, that disobedience and not complying means you're going to reach into a car and grab something, and we don't have the reaction time to respond to that. You have to get on the jump on it, shoot while armed or not armed, because I can't tell and I don't want to find out. I need to assume that he's going to be pulling a gun, and you got to pop him until he falls down. If he's still staying up, one shot won't take you down, especially if you have a 9mm or whatever, is something small, and you just basically got to keep pumping bullets until he falls down, even if it takes 7 shots or more. So that's kind of the hopefully the understanding between both sides. And now they're going to protest, defund the police, and all this other stuff, and you're like, right? So it's just, and then maybe I don't know, it's just more or less, we'll just leave it at that, right? I'll just provide information. I don't need to put my opinions. You can kind of see both sides of it. I get it. He's got a family, he's got kids, you took him away from it, but the officer has to do his job too. Why couldn't he make the officer's job easier, comply, listen, and all this other stuff? And of course, you know, I'm sure that you guys experience that you might be treated a little differently because maybe you get pulled over more or get harassed more by police or whatever, and you guys are making a stand, possibly, right? And that's all true too, probably. And I get it, but it's just more like this clash of, like, you know, you're like, you kind of see both sides. You're like, okay, come on guys, just yeah. Anyways, we'll leave it at that. I don't want to deal too much more. Let's just move on and talk to you then. Thanks for watching, and we'll get to more news later as I see, and I'll put my opinions on it. And if you have any comments or suggestions about this, or you know what I should talk about next on my, or report on the next video, let me know.